Hello, it's me, Arden Lee, and here's my assistant Virgil, who is very interested in my tea. Apparently, did you want some of that? We're going to be talking today about the importance of having people in your life with like-minded goals. And my goodness, um, I am the creator of Repatterning Project, and if you check out the description box below this video, you will find out a little more about that. I have a free PDF you can download to learn about the repatterning modality. And speaking of like-minded people and community resources, I also have a Facebook group that you can join. Just click the link and you can connect with me and other like-minded people for support. So go ahead and do that if you're interested in really committing to having your life get a lot better. So I'm about to explain the benefits of having people in your life who have similar goals to you, have similar growth mindsets, and who are able to be good influences on you and your decisions. So you may have heard this phrase that we become the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. And when you think about it, you're like, that's not true. I'm my own person. Like, I have my own life, my own goals. I don't become the average of the 5 people that I spend the most time with. But actually, you really do. And so we don't have nearly as much control over maintaining that sort of independence from the personalities and mindsets and beliefs of other people in our lives. But what we do have agency over is choosing the people that we allow into our lives, that we allow into our space, and that we allow to become important to us. So in selecting people who have similar goals, similar growth mindsets, as I said, that's going to be one thing that's going to really help you get on the path and stick on that path toward where you want to be. You'll notice, for example, that there may be a lot of people in your life who love to complain about things. There may be a lot of people in your life who love gossip or drama, or who, merely do a lot of things that are contrary to, that are counter that are counterproductive to the things that they say they want to do, the goals that they say that they want to achieve. A lot of people who talk a big talk and then sit around and do nothing about it, and they feel like just because they're talking about it that it means something. People who are always, looking to, I don't know, like borrow money from you, or people who are just people who don't have their shit together. And this was very much me when I was back in New York. Even though I was someone who, like, I had grown up knowing that I was someone who was intelligent. I grew up, with what I felt was a pretty strong sense of identity. Sure enough, I spent several years of my life hanging out with a bunch of club kids because I thought that they were cooler than me, and I thought that being around them and learning how to be like them or whatever would somehow make me cooler, somehow like get me to be part of the in crowd. But what I wasn't really looking at was the fact that they were club kids, and they weren't really, they didn't have the same mindset that I would have needed to get healthy and get happy at that point. They gossiped a lot. They bullied people. They decided one day, if they decided they didn't like you, they just, very publicly shunned you. They, they'd find one person who was kind of hanging in the group to, to kind of pick on or make fun of, and they were thriving on gossip and on interpersonal drama. And I got sucked into that because it was there, and again, because on some level I was like, these people are cooler than me, so what do I have to do to be in the in crowd? And I don't feel that I ever really strongly bullied anyone, but certainly like I would make fun of people, behind their backs or whatever. I would, imitate them, or I would whatever, because the people who were also ganging up, I was just grateful they weren't ganging up on me, So it's like a Mean Girls thing, And they weren't even all women. They were all like, Mean Girls. The Mean Girls phenomenon does not ascribe to gender. There were plenty of dudes in that group. And, I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of the energy that I wasted, making fun of another person so that I wouldn't be the butt of the joke. But sure enough, like one day I was the person who was ostracized for whatever reason they didn't like. And it all came back to me. And I was just like, I've wasted so much time here. This is ridiculous. Like, what am I doing? I need better friends. So, one thing that you'll also notice is when you do start to go down a healing path, a lot of the people that you previously spent a lot of time with might not be a good match for you anymore, because you're changing yourself deliberately, so you're no longer agreeing to be the average of those 5 people, and something happens called, what we like to refer to as the crabs in a bucket phenomenon. And if you know anything about crab fishing, I only know this not because I'm a crab fisher, but because we use this a lot in the spiritual community as a metaphor for personal growth. If you know anything about crab fishing, you'll know that if you put a crab in a bucket by itself, that crab can crawl out of the bucket. But if you, Virgil, do not, hey, down, Virgil, pardon me. Hey, I'm watching you. Do not go up on the table. Sorry about that. So, if you put one crab in a bucket, it will crawl out. But if you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket together, then you don't have to put a lid on that bucket, because the other crabs will grab the one who is trying to climb out, and they'll pull it down to be with the rest of them, and none of the crabs will get out of the bucket. So that's very similar to when you're in a social circle and you decide that you're going to improve yourself. You have to actually make it out of the bucket. You have to be sure that people aren't going to shame you or or whatever for wanting to improve your life. If you start, I don't know, eating more healthy, like people will make fun of you or whatever. If you're someone who is in a bunch of people who, love to go out and drink and party, and you decide that this isn't good for you anymore and you want to get sober, there will be people in your life who make fun of you for being the sober one, and really the best way, honestly, this sounds cruel, but the best way to fast track your growth is just to let go of those connections and just kind of say, you know what, I love you, I'm here for you, but I'm pursuing something else, and I'm sorry if this friendship is no longer in alignment. Like, you can't treat me this way. This isn't good for me. This isn't healthy. And then finding those people who do have a growth mindset, who are focused on their goals, and maybe their goals don't have to be exactly the same as yours, but they should be into, general self-improvement. They should, whatever, but they have to believe that their lives can get better. One of the things that I've been very fond of saying lately is that just in the same way that, I may have said this in another video, but I'm going to say it again because it bears repeating. Just in the same way that we say equality looks like oppression when what you're used to is privilege, right? We'll unpack that. It's that, the people who are fighting for equal rights now are getting pushback from the people who are in a position of privilege, because they feel that giving equal rights to everybody somehow feels like oppression to them, right? Leveling the playing field means that they're not in the lead anymore, right? So in that same way that equality looks like oppression when what you're used to is privilege, personal growth can look like betrayal or abandonment to people who what they're used to is trauma bonding, right? If you have a group of friends and you all get together and you gossip and you tear each other down, and or even if you don't tear each other down, but maybe you just reinforce the idea that the world sucks and men are trash, and or women are lying, cheating hoes or whatever, or that things can't get better, and and they bond together over their depression, they bond together over complaining, they love having things to complain about. I had to leave some friendships because I saw that this was going on. I especially had to leave some friendships where people were enabling my codependent behavior. Before I really started to get my shit together in my relationships, I had some friendships with people who were, on again, off again with their own partner, and kowtowing to their own partner, and always having to strategize how to keep this person from leaving them and whatever. And I was in one of those connections myself throughout pretty much all of 2015. And it was I definitely found people who enabled me and made me feel that that situation was normal. And when I finally decided to to get my shit together, I had to really kindly say to a couple people, I can't do this anymore. I'm so sorry, but I can't be privy to these conversations because it is like getting sober. It's like, I can't hang out with my old drinking buddies if I want to be better, And there is a compassionate way to say that, and most of my friends who I ended up saying that to either respected my decision, and because I owned that it was about me, it was about the changes I was making in my life, and I was like, I can't be in this space anymore. Or some of them also got their shit together too, or one friend in particular realized that if she wanted to spend time with me, that complaining about everything was not really gonna fly. So it's not that she repressed everything, I hope anyway, I hope she didn't do that for my sake, but she did start focusing on the things that she liked more about her life, at least when she was with me, and the things that she was complaining about, she kind of admitted, you know what, I like complaining about that, it's okay. And I was like, oh, well, if you just want to complain because you like complaining, then okay, just let me know when you've complained enough, and are you happy? Did you get that out? Like, do you feel good about this complaint? Okay, great, then cool. Whatever it is, you can navigate it, you can work it out, but it's really important that you're keeping people around you who want to be happy, who want their lives to be better, and who are willing to take action steps to make that happen. You might not be taking the same action steps as the person next to you, although I would certainly posit that having people who are in the same situation as you are is really helpful, but maybe someone else is struggling with actual sobriety while you're struggling with healing codependence, or maybe someone is trying to start their own business while you're trying to get success as an artist, or something like that. But whatever it is, that you have that same signature of this belief that things can be better than they are now. And that's really what it comes down to, is find people in your life who believe that things can be better than they are now, and are willing to put their action steps behind that belief, and you're going to have a way easier time on your growth path. And if you are committed to your growth path, this is something that will probably happen naturally anyway, because your old friends will make fun of you for wanting to be better, and it's not about you. It's not it's not personal. It's not about you. It's just the fact that you're getting better. If they look at that, if they spend too long thinking about it or examining that, then they have to acknowledge to themselves that they could get better too if they really wanted to, and that the only difference between you and them is that you want it more and you're willing to do the thing, and they want to stay stuck in that mindset that says, no, the world is actually awful and everybody's broke, and and life sucks, and men are trash, and women are lying, cheating hoes, and whatever other beliefs that they want to have that are creating their reality. So if they want to stay stuck there, that's kind of their business, and all you can do is just be the lighthouse, man. Like, you just gotta do your own thing, and your example will show the way out. And if they're ready to do that, if they're ready to say, you know what, I'm gonna start doing it too, I'm gonna go to therapy, I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to start getting better, then great. But you don't do yourself or them any favors by staying in a connection that isn't serving you. So let it go and find those people who have the same mindset that you want to have. Preferably find a couple people who are like a couple steps ahead of you too, you know, and but definitely find people who are right there on your level, who are ready to go on that path, and who will be next to you on that journey, supporting you, and you know, and sharing your wins and giving you positive reinforcement for your wins, instead of just, you know, shaming you for the fact that you want to eat healthier, or you want to stop drinking, or stop using drugs, or you want to start saving your money better, or start not partying as much, start you know, working on your actual business, or working on your art, or whatever it is, committing to that path that you are intent upon realizing. So if you don't have friends like this in your life right now, that's also another reason why I created the Repatterning Parlor, which is as I said, it's a free group on Facebook. You just answer a couple quick questions. I just need to know that you're serious about being in it, because it's a group of serious people. So just answer 3 quick questions to get into the group, and I would love to see you there. I would love to have you join, and you're going to find a lot of community there. You're going to find people who also want their lives to be better, who believe that things can get better, and believe that they can be happier. And when you're around people who help promote those beliefs in you, then your life can get better, and you can be happier, and you can do it a lot faster than if you're around those people who are persuading you unconsciously to do otherwise. So I know what I hope you choose, and if you do, I'll see you there.